TGIW. I'm excited to be here with you. This is like the most exciting time of my week, other than on Sunday when I go to worship service with my church family.
Right. That means a lot. That means a lot because that means you like seeing me.
I do, you know. Robbie. Yeah.
Hi.
I can tell. I can tell.
Bouldercon. It's in 2 days.
I know.
And I will be there.
Yeah.
And I will be looking.
I know that's right. Go ahead. That's right. Let's go. Work it out. Work out. All right. I am the Miss Be Inspired. You like the way I did that?
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right. Miss Be Inspired.
How is everybody? That was a promo from the open house last month. Mind you,
but works.
Mr. The Boss never showed up. So I mean, as it stands, I'm still the guy.
Personality name or
I'm still the Don.
A newscaster.
Don Falcone. You know what I'm saying?
A weatherman or something.
Figaro to my friend. Anyways, what's going on, everybody? This is the co-host.
It's funny because I have to announce my name, my first name.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Be Exposed Radio. You're listening to the Dinasha Harrison Radio Show. I have here with me one of the natives of Baltimore, Baltimore's finest, Mr. Stephen Wise. Good morning, brother.
Early, I'm here early this morning. Y'all be doing things too early this morning, so you special. Yeah, I'm really not a morning guy, but it's all good. You're special enough to be here, excited for you and what you got going on here, and you gone from the guy for military radio, so this is real dope.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you coming through, and we're gonna get into our story a little bit about how we met when I first moved to Baltimore. A lot to talk about today. One of our first guests today is going to be Ophelia Robertson. She's calling in from Oxnard, California. Holy Trinity Gospel Ministries.
Okay.
They're actually sponsoring the show today, so we want to thank them for that. And we're going to talk to a couple other people. But first, we'd like to get Ophelia Robertson on air. She should be calling in pretty soon. So what is the radio show about? I know a lot of people were asking, and we want to make it clear that we are talking about the truth, and we're also giving the platform for folk to air their art, whether it's music or baking a cake, whatever it is that you do and you do well. As long as it's positive and we're talking about truth, and we're coming up with solutions, which is also important.
Amen.
Then that's what we're going to do.
Wow.
All right. So once again, welcome to Be Exposed Radio. Welcome to the Dinasha Harrison Radio Show. Thanks for joining me early, Brother Wise.
Oh, man. Any time for you. It's not that early. I just want to say something.
No doubt.
It's really not that early.
Yeah, but I appreciate the love and the support.
Anytime.
So we're going to take a look over in that box over there. Do we have Ophelia Robertson on air?
Okay, so I guess she's not quite here yet.
Okay. Well, we got that getting worked out right now. First show. So thank you for your patience in advance. Thank you for sticking with me. A couple of things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to have Brother Jared, who's actually our street team co-host. He's going to be calling in later on today to talk about some of the issues that are going on. So I want to talk a little bit about myself before we get deep into the show. My name is Dinasha Harrison. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois.
Chi-town?
That's right, all day long.
Kanye.
And the beautiful thing about this show is not only is it local, it's also global, all right? So we can talk to the brothers and sisters in Chicago, Los Angeles. Let me stop calling out cities because folk gonna wonder why I didn't call theirs out. But Kalamazoo, Michigan, Philly, and of
So
course,
it's actually a city, Kalamazoo.
there is a city
called
Kalamazoo.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours east of Chicago and 2.5 hours west of Detroit. So it's smack in the middle of Western Michigan.
Wow. So real Midwest state for real.
Real Midwest state.
So like, are they over there wearing like purple and blue gaiters over there? Is it really true to really wearing gators like now later gators?
Well, you know what?
Detroit, Chicago.
I'm not
going down.
I'm not going to talk about that South Side versus West Side in Chicago.
West side?
Okay, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Right.
We're gonna get with Ophelia Robinson. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Good morning, Ophelia Robinson, Ambassador Pastor Robinson / Harrison / McMath. Good morning and welcome to the Denasha Harrison Radio Show. How are you this morning?
Excellent, marvelous. Good morning to you all. Wow.
Thank you for joining us this morning. What time is it out there in Oxnard?
It is 7:22 a.m.
So you special, Denasha. You're early. Thank God for Jesus.
Thank God for Jesus. Thank God for mothers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Holy Trinity Gospel Ministries. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How that came into fruition and how that's related to Holy Trinity, say off of 69th and Halsted in Chicago?
Yes. Well, first it was really birthed out of pain. Okay, and when I say birth out of pain, any time you give birth to something, there are birthing pains and travail. And because we had moved out of the city and where we were, there were no churches that were having service like we were used to and celebrating and sharing the word. So that's how we began to have our own Holy Trinity Gospel Ministry. And that's how it started, because we're not traditional and we just preach the word and that's it. We don't preach denomination. And we look for miracle signs and wonders because that's what we believe. And our faith is what takes us through. So that's how that was birthed, out of what we were known to be from God. So it was birthed that way.
Okay. So when you say not the traditional church or non-denominational, does that mean that if I am, I don't know, say Baptist and somebody else may be like apostolic or of a different denomination or even of a different faith, that they're still welcome in your church?
Yes, they're welcome because it's about the word. It's about teaching. It's about sharing. It's about truth. It's about receiving something that can help you sustain yourself in the world that we live in today. So we don't do like the traditional setup. You can come as you are, but we feel after leaving, you won't stay as you are. So we welcome everyone from all walks of life, all cultures. We welcome them. Why? Because we believe that there is one true and living God. So we don't judge, and we just give word, because the word is what's going to make the difference. So everyone is welcome.
Okay, well, truly an ambassador for God. All right. You remember down the street from where I used to live on Packer Street in Baltimore, the tailor shop we went to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so you remember the brother that was in that tailor shop?
Yes.
That's who's across from me right now this morning, co-hosting the show.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mama. So I met her. So when did we meet?
We met, I believe December.
You are not, but I mean, Pastor here.
Oh, That was actually a few months ago. She came up in your shop.
Oh, okay. It was your mom. Was your mom?
And the rest of the family.
Okay.
Came through. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, First Lady, how are you?
Excellent, and you?
Woman of
Excellent.
God, that's going down early on a Tuesday morning. Praise be to God. All righty.
Well,
yes.
What else is going on out there in Oxnard? What type of programs are you involved in? I know Kelvin Harrison, who will be joining us shortly. He has the is it the Let's Get It boxing
Team
club?
Let's Get It.
Team Let's Get It.
Yes.
So I know he's doing things out there in the community besides boxing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So
he can tell you about that. Let me tell you about us.
okay. Continue to tell us about y'all.
Yes, I tell you about us, about Ambassador Gary and Ambassador Ophelia. We have partnered with Women Helping Women and Boys to Men. And Boys to Men is what it's not actually saying like the singers, but men need men. So what's happening now, Ambassador Gary, is with groups of men and sharing. Men need to share things and pass things on so that men know what men should and should not do in the world as well as in biblical terms. So we have men, Boys to Men, and then Women Helping Women, and then Ambassador O Ministry, which is international. And then what we do, we're helpers to one to another. So we go to any denomination and we share and we help and we train leaders. So the leaders know what to teach and preach to the lay persons or the wounded. We reach out to those that are outside of the box. Because our God is not in a box that's put under a table every Sunday when service is over and we come back the next Sunday and just pick him up. We celebrate our God every day. So what we do, we're working on projects with people that are wounded, broken, hurt. We give referrals. We give them direction. We coach them in the way that would be beneficial for them to have a healthy, wealthy, successful life with joy. You have so many people going through the motions, but they're not happy. They don't have joy. So we try to give them an easy route and direction that will get rid of all the mishaps, the mayhems, and things that are going on in their lives so that they be successful. Not that things aren't going to happen, but that when things do happen, we as people can stand strong and know and believe that it's going to pass.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing right now.
Okay. And is that it? No, I'm just joking. So if someone wants to get in touch with you or get in touch with somebody that you're working with, how do they go about that? Where can they call? Where can they write in? What can they do?
Well, they can call and they can email and they can write. They can call. If I can give my number,
Absolutely.
Is it okay? Okay. 805 890 6652.
Okay. Can you repeat that?
Can I speak up?
Can you repeat that?
Oh, yes. 805
805
890
890
6652.
6652. And the point of contact behind that number is
Ambassador O.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Email or anything?
OHWEALT, like in Tom, HY, the number one, numeric one, at yahoo.com.
Okay, so that's O Wealthy one at yahoo.com.
Yes.
Okay.
And to mail anything, it's P.O. Box 1442, Port Hueneme, and I'll spell that HUENEME, California 93044.
Okay, we got all that. So you mean to tell me that you're there at Port Hueneme? So Port Hueneme is right next to Oxnard.
Oh yes, we're at the water. Yes,
So
we're at
you
the
got the
ocean.
beach.
We're at the yes, that's where we are.
Okay.
We leave our base station. We travel the world. We travel across the country. We travel. So we do leave. We don't stay in the box. We go where there's a need, and we help, and we keep it moving.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, we are definitely going to stay in touch. We're going to keep tabs on what's going on, and we're going to promote how we can be of service, how we can help. And we're going to continue to do what we do here, which is give people a platform to talk about the truth, express the truth as we continue to move forward. Thank you so much for being a part of my first broadcast of the Denasha Harrison radio show. I appreciate you. And I will be getting out there to see family. So thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Well,
it's a pleasure, First Lady.
Say what?
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
He said it was a pleasure. It's a pleasure
have you on the show.
Oh, well, thank you. It was a pleasure and an excitement being on the show.
Wonderful.
I just want Ambassador Gary to just give a shout.
Praise the Lord. How's everybody doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. We well. How you doing this morning?
Wonderful, wonderful. Getting ready to take a walk.
Okay. All right.
Yes, yes.
Well, listen.
So that's good.
I love y'all.
We love
you for calling in. Enjoy the walk. And
all right.
We hope to have you as a normal part, regular part on the Denasha Harrison show on the Be Exposed radio show.
All right.
All right. We'll talk with you soon.
All right.
All right. Love y'all.
Love you the more.
All right. See you later. All right. That was all right. In case y'all didn't know, that was my mother. She actually wanted to be the first part of her baby boy's first show. So I really do appreciate that.
That's a black mama for you.
I'm telling you, the support is deep.
Best.
And not only is she just my mama, she is also my former pastor. My brother, who actually has the pastoralship of the church, is my current pastor. But
wow.
you know,
didn't know that.
You got to put family first.
Yeah, well, and they don't mind supporting.
Absolutely. And they don't mind supporting me, which I really do appreciate. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we met.
Okay.
Trying to find out if we have to go to a break or not, or are we good? Okay, great. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about how we met. And then after that, we're actually going to get into talking about what Brother Jared is going to bring to the show.
Okay.
So it turned out that I ended up moving back to the Midwest. Like you mentioned, I was in the military. So I did some time in the Marine Corps, a little bit of time in the Marine Corps, about 20 years. So not too long. But I moved back to the Midwest to try that whole retirement thing out, and found out I had to get back to the East Coast. Hopefully, we'll be talking to Miss Kylie today because she's very instrumental in me getting my first opportunity to work with a job that had a cause. So I worked with the Capital Garden Youth Challenge Academy that's based out of DC, but it's actually located in Laurel. So it made sense instead of moving all the way back to Virginia to actually move to, I think, the original Chocolate City, Baltimore, Maryland. Right down the street from your shop, moved right across from the world famous Lexington Market.
Yep.
Packard Street. And well, I was taking a walk one day, and you mentioned Gators,
right?
So Chicago. Sometimes we known for some
Your
of the stuff we wear.
Dressing at times. Yeah.
Well, my Gators are regular colors. I don't do the now and later Gators. That's a South Side thing. I'm from the west side of Chicago.
Okay, so South Side cats are the ones that's doing now and later Gators.
Oh my goodness, man.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, it's a little different. We in the same city but different cultures. Okay. That's another show right there. Okay. But walking down the street looking for a tailor, and whose shop do I run into?
Run into mine.
That's right.
Yep. And the rest is history, as they say.
So can you talk a little bit about what you were doing that evening, as far as who you were supporting that night?
I think the day you came by, we were having a meeting about something. So there wasn't anything going on. We were just talking about something, and then you came in. I think the next time you came, we were having a fundraising event at the store for a small business. Maybe the second time that you came by. And we're doing the second, and I invited you to come back, and you did. And we had a fundraising event for a small business. So we did rent parties.
Right.
Yeah. And we raised money for small businesses who were here in Baltimore, Black businesses who were struggling. And we all would come together and pull up money into one pot. And at the end of the evening, the person being highlighted and celebrated would walk out with that money cash, no questions asked.
That's what's good. That's what's good. Supporting the young artists.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, artists or business owners, or entrepreneurs.
Okay, great. Yeah. And I think I remember talking to you about the feel of Baltimore, right? So, not too familiar with Baltimore at the time, and still learning Baltimore and Maryland, and the East Coast as a whole. The love that I was shown when I first got to this city. One thing I remember talking about to yourself and other people was how real it was. It was genuine. Right. And what I've learned about people here in Baltimore, they're pretty black and white. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. And I think that's the way just good people are, period. Right. But there was a good feel. Absolutely a good feel. I'm glad I made that move.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just kind of segue. I'm looking at, I was here back in, I think February, Nate. And I'm looking at how I signed the wall here in Big Exposed Radio. They have this chalkboard wall, and everybody who's ever been on the show signs the wall. Just looking at some familiar faces, well, names up there. Okay, I just segue. I'm sorry.
No, you.
I just saw my name.
I like this. Where's your name at?
It's right over there. See Stephen Wise, SWB. It's kind of like in the middle. Like
okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you right there.
I get a picture of that.
There was another event that we did that you invited me to. I am active with homeless vets, with veteran affairs. One thing that is my passion is to ensure that people who have served our country in some type of capacity, understands the truth about what their benefits are, et cetera, et cetera. And I believe I came over to your shop and they had a we were feeding veterans. Veterans event.
Yeah.
So is that something that's always at that location, or is it always going on, or is this?
No. So what happened was I was a part of something called Beamer Moving Forward, which is kind of a collective of downtown Baltimore business owners, from hotels to small business owners, and we have these events and meetings. And so one of those was to feed the veterans.
Right.
So it wasn't at my store. It was a bunch of satellite locations all around downtown Baltimore. Some were hotels, some were other places, and the hotels would cook food to honor the veterans, be it World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korean War, whatever it was.
So this wasn't a one-time thing that I came to. This is something that was a co-op
Right.
Like,
It's a cooperative that's sponsored by a lot of the hotels, I think some restaurants, and they all pull together and they feed veterans. So they bring the veterans in, and we serve them there.
Right.
So our location that you and I were at was our Pier 5 hotel, but that wasn't at my location. I was a part of a collective of individuals who do different things to try to show the good parts of Baltimore, raise awareness of what's happening here, and it's a win-win for exposure for all the businesses as well. It makes you feel good. I was talking to a gentleman there, a veteran there, I think who served in the Korean War. He was telling me these stories, like, seeing a man beside you get blown up, like how that feels and how that looks. Right. Being caught on, like, I think he was on fire, and how that felt being on fire. Right. So it definitely is a interesting space to be in. And for you, because you serve. So for those of us who are civilians who've never seen that part of life, it really makes you appreciate. I know my grandfather did serve, but I never had to deal with that. So that part of the world is different for me.
It's interesting how whether you have served or whether you live in the inner city or whether you've experienced whatever you have going through what you've gone through, depending. PTSD has many faces, post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah. It has many different faces. And truly, when we think of PTSD, we think of the majority of people being in the military.
Yeah. Or women who had a baby.
Right. So
that's another whole other show.
Right. Whole nother show. Right. So, but I do really appreciate that opportunity. I didn't know that it was actually a co-op. Is it something that's seasonal or is it going on?
To be honest, I believe it happens every year. Okay. You can't quote me on it, but I know it's something that they do. This was at that time was my first year having a business. Well, not in downtown Baltimore. I had stores here before, but being a part of a collective of individuals who are about pushing from the marketing standpoint to pious, philanthropic endeavors like feeding the veterans. So it was the first time being a part of a collective like that. So it was new for me, honestly, but it felt good. I know I fed the homeless before in downtown Baltimore, right? But this is a different feeling because these guys aren't homeless per se, but they still have issues, right? And a lot of times we forget because once you come home, a lot of times because you're home, you don't realize what they've been through.
I know that feeling. Yeah, and it's interesting because I've learned a lot. Even though I did 20 years, talking to some of the people. Time. Yeah, it was a long time, but it goes quick. When you're engaged, but engaged in the organization that you're with, right? But what humbled me about the whole experience is that you're doing something greater than you. It's not about you, right? And you're learning something. The stories that my fellow brothers and sisters told were amazing stories. You see the TV shows, you serve, you hear about different things, but to actually hear about the personal testimonies was amazing. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to take another phone call. I don't know if this is Kelvin Harrison on the line. Welcome to the Danasha Harrison radio show on Be Exposed Radio. Who is this?
This is Jared, your partner, man. How you doing?
The co-host of Be Exposed Radio, the Danasha Harrison radio show. Good morning. How you doing? You get a little bit of sleep at least? You've been going since we talked last night.
Yeah, I got a little bit of sleep, man. It was after I ate a little breakfast. I kind of got a little rejuvenated, and I'm up and at 'em, man.
Okay, great. So, what you got for us this morning? But by the way, once again, this is Jared, the street team co-host for the radio show. So, what you got going on this morning, man? Talk to us.
You know what? Doing some research. Or currently, I'm reading Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow, and it's talking about mass incarceration, and as of right now, Maryland has an act that basically allows drug offenders that may have been over sentenced to basically be, I don't know for my notes, to basically seek the help that they need. It's called the Maryland Justice Reinvestment Act. So basically,
wait, say that name again. It's called the what?
The Maryland Justice Reinvestment Act.
Okay.
So basically, instead of allowing repeat offenders to circulate through the system, for 5 or 10 years, probably being overbooked and at the same time, or oversentenced, excuse me, this reform actually allows, it digs to the root cause of everything. So every offender will have a chance to get basically a root cause analysis of what's wrong. Why are you in the predicament that you're in? Like, what services can we provide you for you to be a productive citizen of society? And the benefits of that is that it saves the taxpayers money. Doing some more research, it costs about $40,000 to house one inmate per year.
40,000. Wait. $40,000 to house
40,
one inmate a year.
That's that may fluctuate per state, but that was on average like between $30,000 to $40,000 per year, and that's somebody's income. Like, you can easily, and don't even dig even further. Literacy rates are tied to crime, so that's easily taking a college student and saying, hey, look, you can be a reading specialist at such and such elementary or such and such middle school, and you can slowly, take these numbers, see these numbers back to a positive direction.
Okay. So is this something that's just applying to local government like Maryland? Is it federal? Do other states have it? I know we're talking about Maryland right now, right? But through your research, have you seen that other states are doing this or attempting to do this as well?
Yes, this seems to be slowly becoming a nationwide trend. I've seen some statistics for North Carolina, and New Jersey as well. So this is definitely something that the community can get behind and press their local officials to get the ball rolling on. Okay,
so since you have notes from Maryland in front of you, if someone wants to know more about the Reinvestment Act, which is state legislation, how can they get more information on that? Is there a website, numbers? What do they do? You did some research. How do people do their own research about what you're talking about?
Okay, I just did a quick Google search, but I do have email addresses. The quick way to get to it is actually just to Google Maryland Alliance of Justice Reform, and that will bring you straight to the page. But
okay, say that again. I'm sorry, brother. Say that again.
Maryland Alliance for Justice Reform.
Okay, Maryland Alliance for Justice Reform.
Yes, and within that, you should see Maryland Justice Reinvestment Act.
Okay. You know what's interesting about that, Brother Wise?
Yeah.
That's what prison was supposed to be for in the first place, reforming. And it sounds like prison, $40,000 a year per inmate.
It's a business.
Huge business.
It's a business.
Huge business. And I'm hoping that the Reinvestment Act that a lot of states are putting a lot of effort and money into is something that does not go unchecked by us. We need to learn about these things and other things so that we can, have our input, have our say, and how these different programs go. Okay, so you got anything else going on, Jared?
That's it for right now.
Okay, so what can we look forward to on Thursday from you?
You know what? Some more as far as Maryland legislation and any legislation in the surrounding areas. That is what you can definitely look forward to hearing from me. This is something I'm very passionate about, seeing more of our people, out of the system and working.
Okay. Well, where you from, brother?
I'm from South Georgia.
You from where?
South Georgia.
South Georgia?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, it's visited Georgia every now and then.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, a little bit. So, how about this? Let me know when you're ready to copy. You got pen and paper. Let me know when you're ready to copy.
All right. All right, I'm ready.
So going on, moving forward, we would like to hear more about the Reinvestment Act. That's actually something we can talk more specifically about and do a little bit more of an outlay for the people that are listening so they can actually understand what that whole legislation is all about. And also, what I would like to do moving forward is talk more on a local level about how do people go to understand what's going on with not only this piece of legislation, but other pieces of legislation that actually affect them on a daily basis in their communities. And now we're talking about Baltimore. I know you said something about North Carolina. They have a huge program when it comes to the Reinvestment Act. And not to get into the general statutes and things like that, people can read that for themselves. But we'd like to hear more about that. We'd like to hear what's going on in your hometown. And we'd also like to hear about what's going on overseas. I know me and you talked about Central West Africa for a little bit. We'd like to bring that to the show as well. I don't want to steal your thunder, but if we can bring that to the show, probably Thursday, talking about Niamey, Niger, what's going on right now. They're a country that's sandwiched between Libya and Nigeria. And when we talk about, global issues, that's definitely a country to keep in the know. What we want to do is we want to talk about things that are important, but we don't want to be so general to where we're putting everything out there. They talking about church. They talking about feeding the homeless. They talking about legislation. Absolutely, we are. But we want to make sure that we are as specific as we can be to push the truth and create the platform that's going to have people take specific action.
Right.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I'm glad you called. You hung in there. I know you've been up for a minute, for a few hours, actually.
Oh, yeah. Moved on. Yeah.
Jay, so what you got going on for the rest of the day?
Not much, man. Just doing some research.
Okay.
And getting back to work.
All right. Well, research on, brother. If you don't mind telling the people, what do you do, actually?
You know what? I work within security. I work security. But also I work as a security system technician. So I install fire alarms and fire systems and things like that. I also volunteer at the local fire department, which is a really good way to see things from another perspective in your community.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your service. We appreciate you calling in, and we definitely appreciate you being a part of the Dinasha Harrison radio show. We're here on Be Exposed Radio, 410-702-5657. If you want to call in or email us at beexposedradio.com. You can also hit me on Facebook, Dinasha Harrison, or the Dinasha Harrison Radio Show. Beexposedradio.com. Call in live, 671 live, 410-671 live. Doesn't matter if you're sitting here in Baltimore, if you're out in California, if you in Chicago, my hometown, Kalamazoo,
Chi-town,
or North Carolina, New York, Niamey, Niger, Managua, Nicaragua. We're global. We're not just local. We're global. We're all over the place.
You've been all over the world, man.
Man, I've been a couple of places. Just a couple.
Quiet as cat. You've been all over the world.
Oh man, yeah, we go talk about that in the future. But yeah, I've been a couple of places, seen some things, and yeah, we're gonna keep pushing the truth. Real quick, what's your take on the businesses that are going on around Baltimore locally? How are we doing as small business owners? How are we doing as a collective, in your opinion, as a business owner?
I really want to renounce and eliminate that word small business.
Okay.
And I say that because if you constantly repeating small business, that's all you'll ever be.
Awesome.
So I would love to eradicate that from the American language. I get you got to start somewhere. But if you go into it thinking small, then that's all you'll ever be. You think it was a small business development center to help small businesses stay small.
Right.
It's not called the big business, the Fortune 500 business center. It's called the small business center. And they only deal with small business problems, with small business issues.
Right.
So I don't equate myself a small business because you probably originally got the idea for your business. It was probably really, really big, but you tone it down because you were told you could only do with so much.
That's
and
right.
then you're told, as every small business owner hears, you can't make any money for 5 years.
Right. The 5-year plan.
So it just keeps you in a box of just being broke.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're supposed to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So if some money was going to come your way, it can't, because you've been saying, I can't make any money for 5 years. So you negate any success that you can possibly have, because the storyline of business is you can't make any money for 5 years. And everyone tells you that. So you have problems. They say, well, you know, you're not going to make any money for 5 years. So who made that rule up?
Right. Right.
What big business owner or small business minded person that had some power made this rule up to keep you in a box?
Wow. Dig that.
So I'm not a small business owner.
Okay.
I have a business with a really big vision, but I'm not small because the idea was never small. And I was refused to be put into, and you didn't say it, but just I think about that. We're always taught about, I'm a small business.
I like that.
I'm a small business. And when I said about the rent party, it wasn't in any way, I guess I was just being politically correct for that statement. I shouldn't even have said that at all.
Well, that's what's up. Well, that's the truth.
Yeah.
So,
but I ought to answer your question though. So
but you know what? When we come back from the break,
okay,
I'd love to get more into that. Okay. But before we go to the break, once again, I want to welcome everybody to the Denasha Harrison Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Bring down pat. Yeah, right? Segueing out. Right.
And before we go to break, I'd like to say that Stephen Wise, the brother sitting across from me on the show, he's shown me a lot about Baltimore. He's taught me a lot about, how they do things on the East Coast, which isn't too different from how we do things all over the world. So when we come back from the break, we're going to get into what you think about the businesses that are going on here in Baltimore. Sure. Be right back.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to get yourself noticed? Well then, why not sponsor us? There are lots of different options to choose from commercial spots and on-air shout-outs to interviews and even putting your logo on our website. Don't miss these great opportunities to get noticed. Check out our sponsorship packages on our Facebook page or on our website, BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
So we're going to get a little bit into the album with Miss Amira and learn the basis of it, the Banji soul of it all. Yes. So let us know, first of all, what is Banji soul?
Banji soul is basically just real. It's real soul. It's real. It's not cut down. It's not watered down. It's, how does it came off of my mind and my heart. That's what it is. And a lot of the times I get a little tangy, banji, ratchet, whatever, how you like to put it, classify it. But I like to say banji, because I'm classy.
Banji is a little classier.
It's a little classier. That's got your pinky up. Right. You got your pinky up with that.
Okay, we got to keep the bees, the bougie, the banji.
Yeah.
Right. So she's created her own lane, Banji Soul. So let us know how that is covered in the album that released on the 9th of this month, right?
Yes. Well, I did it to a number of industry tracks, including like the Beatles come together, and I did a Lindsay Lohan.
Jacqueline. Yes, Mom. I wanted to talk to you about something, and wait, hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow, busy me. So anyway.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Wait. Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest.
There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're struggling with your mortgage. You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can I tell the kids? It's going to wreck their lives.
And at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get through this. What's going to happen to us?
It's time to stop thinking. It's time to start dialing. Call 1-888-995-HOPE for a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options.
I'm all alone.
No, you're not. We've helped over 1 million homeowners, and we want to help you. And now there are more ways to help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be,
Exposed Radio. Once again, you can go ahead and give us a call, 410-702-5657 or 410-671-LIVE. We're sitting here with one of the business owners in Baltimore, Stephen Wise. Before we went to break, I asked him, what does he feel the climate is among business owners here in Baltimore? How are we doing?
Okay, so great question. Thanks again for having me. Be Exposed Radio, Denasha Harrison, Nate being an engineer today. You know, I feel like I'm in church. You got to say, you know, all the people, the minister, the deacon, pastor in the corner. Mother, thank you for the fried chicken earlier. Appreciate you. First lady, and you know, deacon, sounds so parking the car.
And to you, and
to all the men of God in the church. So honored to be here. So the climate of Baltimore business owners, I really believe that it is this new, it's a renaissance happening, not just in Baltimore, but I think around America right now, for African Americans, for business owners. And I believe that it's a resurgence of the need for Black-owned businesses. And that's a great thing. I think a missing component is what it really is about. I'm on one end, I'm pro entrepreneurship, and I'm also anti-entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And I explain why I say that.
Okay.
So right now we are telling everyone to go be your own boss. Wonderful. We're telling every child, we're training kids, young people to be entrepreneurs. I'm all for that. I'm no objection to someone being self-employed and signing their own check. This is the downside to that. And it really isn't a downside, it's just the reality and the actual fact of this. If everyone is an entrepreneur, who's going to work?
Absolutely.
No one's teaching anyone. Furthermore, everyone is not an entrepreneur. So now we have folks who are going into entrepreneurship that really aren't entrepreneurs. But are going along with the trend. That's the new trend. It's kind of like everybody being a certain kind of hairstyle, or wearing a certain kind of shoe, or driving a certain kind of car.
Right.
It doesn't. You don't fit. You don't belong.
Okay.
So now we've got all of these folks who aren't mentally, emotionally, even wired to be entrepreneurs. See, this is a whole nother animal.
Right.
And it sounds cute. I'm a boss. Everything in hip hop is I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. That
right.
You know. So now, if everybody's writing their own checks, who they writing checks to? So now it's a bunch of chiefs and no Indians. Some folks are really great Indians. Now, honestly, I am an entrepreneur. I am a business owner. But before I was those things, or I guess in between, I was a great employee. I was a great servant. And I don't think you aren't equipped to be an entrepreneur until you first understand how to be a great servant.
Okay.
And know how to lend a hand and mop a floor and do whatever needs to be done and be a number 2 and be an Indian or be a number 10.
Right.
And you're not equipped, you're not qualified.
Right.
So you got folks that are going into being a boss like Rick Ross. But then you don't figure it, you can't even, you're too bougie to do the basic stuff.
Right.
So it's a disconnect. It's an issue.
So it's not always what it looks like. They see you on top, but they're not. Some people are not willing to put in the work to get there.
You got to face this. I want to say something, but I'm not. You want to say, you got to face this entrepreneurship beast every single morning when you wake up and don't know how you're going to make your money and don't know how you're going to live.
Wow.
And don't know how you're going to pay your bills. Don't know how you're going to eat. How you gonna get a haircut? How you gonna pay your phone bill? How when the wife is calling, or the ex-wife, or the girlfriend, or the baby mama, or the kids, or the mother, and they need some money and you don't have it? Can you face that every single day for months, for years? Can you really do that? Are you really wired to face losing everything every single day of your life and be okay with that?
Wow.
And no guarantee of what's gonna happen. Just pure, raw, blind darkness. You just know this is who I am. Can you do that? Can you deal with your wife yapping and telling you I need some money, I need my hair done?
Wow. I like that. Okay. We're going to talk more about that, and we're going to actually take a phone call right now.
That was a great segment.
Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you all for joining us on my first broadcast for the Denasha Harrison Radio Show. We're going to go ahead and go to the phone lines, and I believe we got another entrepreneur on the line. We got is this Kelvin Harrison?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, sir. Good morning, and welcome to the Denasha Harrison Radio Show on Be Exposed Radio. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing excellent. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm listening to the brother across from me talking about facing that beast every morning.
Every morning. Early.
And I'm gonna tell you,
where's the freeway?
The first time I understood what the phrase of entrepreneurship was when this brother on the other line started doing it. How you doing, Kelvin?
Doing real good, man. I'm doing excellent.
Okay, were you able to hear the broadcast before you called in?
No, I was trying to call in, couldn't get through on the line.
Okay. All right. So I want you to stay on the line because we're talking about entrepreneurship and how it's not for everybody. You know, it's truly a spirit, right? You truly have to have it in you to do this thing and do it successfully. So actually, tell us about your about when you found out that you were an entrepreneur, about how the money just wasn't flowing hand over fist, but you still hung with your vision and you're still doing what you're doing. Tell us about that a little bit.
Oh man, it goes way back to childhood. Growing up, seeing my great uncles being successful in business, and even though I worked corporate jobs, I just knew the corporate jobs wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really take the fact that I had to work 9 to 5, go on a break when somebody tell me go on a break, or make a phone call when somebody tell me to make a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't me. So I started to get out there. I started to put right foot front, left foot front, and just start grinding.
Okay, so let me interrupt real quick. I'm gonna let the people out there know a little bit about Kelvin Harrison, my big brother. All right, the entrepreneur, wonderful artist. I thought he was gonna grow up and play baseball. Actually, we actually went to school with one of the baseball greats, right?
That's right.
That's right. So Derek Jeter was actually our classmate.
Wow.
Kalamazoo Central. But my brother had this fastball growing up. I think he can throw a ball like 60, 70 miles an hour at 15, 16 years old?
Come on, man. It was faster than that.
Oh man, come
Really?
on now. Wow. Yeah, he was wicked, right? So
why are you not playing ball right now?
Well, see, the thing about it, I come from a family of artists. You know, they can paint ambidextrously, carving, woodwork or whatever. And I'm on the phone with Kelvin, and he was truly an entrepreneur. Since I can remember him being my brother, he would always be doing something different. Always somewhere else doing some type of art.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, go ahead with your story, Kelvin.
Hey, you was doing pretty good.
No, you're all right. Go ahead.
So now, fast forward. Now I'm doing the boxing. So I have a boxing gym, boxing club, and out here in the community, what we do is we take the little kids, we raise them up. We start them off about maybe 5 or 7 years old, and then we get them started. We started teaching them different techniques and the boxing, and we put them in the amateur shows, some USA boxing. So it's a real good program.
Okay.
Not only do we train them to box, we train them to take control of their finances, because you get a lot of fighters that when they go pro, they start making all this money and they don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You give an 18-year-old kid $200,000, he thinks he owns the whole world now. So we teach them how to take that money and invest it and make that money work for them.
Wow. Okay. So what's the name of your gym? Is it club, gym, fight club? What is it?
Team Let's Get It Boxing Club.
Okay.
Team Let's Get It Boxing Club.
Okay. And tell the people what else you do.
Oh man, I senior pastor at Holy Trinity Gospel Ministries.
Okay.
I master barber. I do it all.
Wow.
Okay. Well, all right.
Do it all.
We're gonna stick to the legal stuff that we do now, and the illegal stuff that used to be done to get us through, and how God brought us through. That's another show, right?
Sounds good.
That was real short, so I know what that means. I'm gonna have to vet some stuff with you first before we start talking about.
Like, don't bring my other life in here, Negro.
Like Pastor Kelvin did what?
He used to. What's the wire really about him?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, we truly have a testimony, and I think for the majority of people, our lives is a testimony, because unfortunately, it has always been the in spite of.
Mm-hmm.
And not because of, right? So
that's right.
I tell you, I thank you for being who you are and coming on to the show. I would like to talk more about the boxing thing. Well, what's the difference between amateurs and professionals as far as the finances and the money, right? I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, well, with the amateurs, you try to get them as many amateur fights as you can, so they can build up their record. So by the time they go pro, they have a nice record, whether they go to the Olympics or whether they go have like 40, 50, 60, 70 amateur fights. So when they do their first pro debut, it's my job to make sure that they get the best purse, the best matchup, the best everything. On their first pro debut. So amateurs don't get paid, pros get paid.
Okay.
So they work their way up.
Okay. Hold that thought. You said amateurs don't get paid, pros get paid. So you have to have it in you to want to go all the way. So you're going to have to put in the work before you get your first dime, before you get your first paycheck, right?
That's
okay.
Right.
So I'll tell you what, do me a favor, hang on. You're listening to the Denasha Harrison radio show, and we will be right back right after these words.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Cat's a beast, man. Kelvin, he's a beast. You talk about not having that money coming through.
Mm-hmm.
This cat, so much going on, man. So many people. He had his own laundry service. When the cat saw how good he was doing, because he had to get the military clothes from the base and everything, you know, you got to meet graduation timelines and stuff like that. When they saw how much money he was bringing in for the military bases, they would hold the clothes and raise the price a quarter or raise the price 50 cents in order to give him his clothes so that he can get them back to the Marines and sailors so that they can get the stuff before they deploy or go on to their next duty station. So because he didn't have a brick and mortar, he had a Valley Laundry Service, the van, they clean it, he pick it up, he take it. The city of Oceanside wouldn't sanction for another brick and mortar because there was so many cleaners within the area.
Oh, okay.
So they wouldn't let him get his brick and mortar. And then the cleaners were in cahoots with each other to raise the prices because of how much money he was bringing in. So he ended up having to drive his clothes all the way to like Riverside, California.
Hold on real quick. I'm trying to get the text message on this one not working, so I gotta reboot that computer. Okay. But I'm gonna send them to your Facebook.
Okay.
A couple text messages.
Okay, great. So he would have to drive all the way back and forth, man. Getting stuck up by the people he, you know, feeding, taking in, they stealing from him the whole nine.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to get yourself noticed? Well then, why not sponsor?
Hey, welcome back to the Nasha Harrison Radio Show on Be Exposed Radio. Myself and Mr. Wise, we're sitting here.
Yes, sir.
And we're talking to Kelvin Harrison, the ultra mega entrepreneur out there in California. You still with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the last time we talked, we were talking about the differences between amateurs and pros. You have your own boxing gym out there called Let's Get It. And we were talking about the difference between amateur fights and pro fights. So again, what is the difference?
One of the differences is that amateurs fighters, they don't get paid, but pro fighters get paid. Now, if you have a good amateur, you know, you have sponsors that will sponsor the amateur, pay for like their food, hotel, and all those good things, or uniforms and things like that. But as far as a purse, legally, they don't get paid.
He said legally. Okay. Okay. So how do you keep someone on the hook to continue to fight for free, to continue to work for free? How do you continue to motivate a person to see the finish line, so to speak?
Relationships. That trainer, that coach, that manager, is relationships with the fighters. You gotta keep that relationship. You can't treat them like a machine. You basically, you feed them, you take care of them, you give them a schedule, you give them, you help them with their foundation. And a lot of these kids don't have a foundation, so you just build a relationship with them.
Boom. You said what now? A lot of people don't have a what?
A foundation. A lot of these kids don't have a foundation. They come from broken homes and things like that. So they might not have a father. They might not have a mother. So once they get in your gym and you begin to know them, and we just don't teach them boxing. We teach them about life as well. So that's how you can get that one fighter to stay on your team, as long as you take care of them. And it doesn't always mean take care of them with the money.
Okay. Take care of them, like in the true sense.
That's right.
So they don't come around trying to chase that dollar.
Nah, majority of them don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everybody's not made to be a fighter, though, right?
That's right. They're not made to be a fighter.
Just like everybody's not made to be a entrepreneur.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So if I wanted to support your opportunities for people in the community, like if I'm not really into boxing, I think that's just too violent, or that's just not my thing. Does your opportunities for these children that you are bringing up and teaching life lessons and teaching them skills in the boxing ring, is there any type of way that somebody can help you out, even though they don't want to have anything to do with boxing? Like from the community's perspective, on that side of the fence, how can somebody support you, whether it's your church for Holy Trinity Gospel Ministries, whether it's them coming to get their hair cut, or dealing with the gym in some type of way? How can they support you if that's not their thing? If I'm bald headed and I don't have any hair growing, then I shouldn't come through to your barbershop. If I got my own church that I'm going to, if I got my own gym membership somewhere else, what can I do still to support what you're doing in the community?
Well, everything that I do, I got something for you. So if you're bald headed, don't need a haircut, I still might have some shampoo for you that you still need to wash your hair with, some type of conditioning for your scalp. If you're not a fighter or you're not a boxing fan, think of it like this here, mentorship. I mean, we have trainers that are good mentors. I have police officers that are trainers, firemen, so different things like that. So if they don't want to just say, okay, I want to support the fighter himself or what they're doing as far as boxing, then they can support the fact that, hey, we're out here doing something in the community for the kids. They might need gloves, they might need hand wraps, or a pair of shorts, or even a pair of shoes, things like that. So it's something that they can do because I'm doing it, so it's something that they can give. There's a lot of things that I give that, I'm not for, like far as depending on our kids come by and say, hey, can you support my football team? Well, I'm not a football coach, but I still support it, because it's dealing with the kids. Think of it like this here. At the end of the day, regardless of what's going on, it's all about the kids. Point blank, period.
Okay. And kids are part of the community.
That's right.
And kids don't stay kids.
That's right.
Okay.
So
it's all about the community.
That's right. It's all about the community. Get them off the streets. There's a lot going on in the streets. So get them off the streets, give them something positive to do, hold them accountable, and go from there. Okay.
So when we were off air, or kind of sort of off air, I talked a little bit about the cleaning business that you used to have. Didn't really get into the specifics about how much money you were bringing in and whatnot, but I talked about some of the challenges that you had with some of the businesses that you were in partnership with.
Oh my goodness.
Are you okay with talking a little bit about some of the things that you went through before you got to where you are right now?
Yeah, that's fine. It's like when I got here from Chicago, people were doing things with the dry cleaning business for 20, 25, 30 years. And when I arrived, within a year, 2 years, oh my goodness, I made it happen. And they didn't like that. So it was like, who is this guy coming in this area, taking from us, doing it better? And you know the funny thing about it, brother? I'm going to tell you, they laughed at me. They told me it would never work. They told me it would never, ever happen. You could not do it.
Mr. Wise?
Oh, yeah. And yeah. Well, go ahead, Calvin.
They told me it would never happen. You can't do it. That's crazy. You're ludicrous. So, you know what? That right there inspired me to even do it more. And the encouragement from my family, so, and with the grace of God, man, made it happen. Made it happen. Even though there was challenges, even though there was falling down and getting back up, but hey, made it happen.
I do want to say something about what Calvin is saying is so similar to so many entrepreneurs and visionaries. I think at the core with an entrepreneur, they're first a visionary, so they're seeing the end result in the beginning.
That's right.
And that's a different kind of wiring.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not like that. Some folks are meant to support the visionary's vision,
right?
But it isn't the supporter's vision. It's the visionary's vision, and you support, undergird it, become the infrastructure for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it isn't meant for you to be the chief,
right?
But you're just as important as the chief,
right?
But without their chief, there's no vision. So we need that, and I think it's important that folks who are wired to be entrepreneurs understand that everyone's not going to get your vision.
Right.
And be comfortable with that and be able to exist in that space, thrive in that space, flourish in that space, build and grow in that space, despite what people who aren't visionaries can see it. To me, if you've never done it, how are you going to tell me?
Right.
If you never made any money, you can't be a professor and tell me how to be an entrepreneur because you probably failed at it. So you can't tell me how to do it. Call it arrogance, call it whatever you want to call it. You're teaching because you have a job, because you were afraid to get back up when you got knocked down. You can't tell me anything.
Right.
All you do is tell me how to fail.
Right.
And so don't come in and tell me I'm doing it wrong if you never did it and you never got back up when you got knocked down because you were afraid of that entrepreneurship beast, that darkness, that bleakness, that long walk down that alley, and you don't know what's on the other side. You can't tell me. You're unequipped. You're not qualified.
Right.
You're not qualified until you failed.
Say it again.
You're not qualified until you fail.
Wow.
Failure means you're qualified.
Wow.
So every entrepreneur, everyone that's great, it's a series of failures. It's not just one failure. You're going to fail over and over because guess what? Donald Trump don't really care if he loses. Right now, I'm going to be pro Donald Trump for just one moment.
Okay.
He doesn't care if he loses. He already won.
That's right.
I can do this with what I respect about him is that I don't care what y'all think about me. I want to say at least we know what we're getting with him. I don't really give a damn. I don't. I say what I want. I do it because I had the balls to keep getting back up. However, I did it when I got knocked down. Be it as I filed bankruptcy, whatever it is, I had to. Because how many folks are on Skid Row? They're under the bridges right now, sleep because the only difference between Jay-Z or Donald Trump and a homeless guy is they got back up.
They got back up.
Only difference. So Donald kept getting back up.
Right.
And no one pulls his strings.
Right.
So for the sake of America right now, I think it's just the greatest election ever. Because it lets people know they can do whatever the heck they want to do in America.
Everything is exposed.
Like, well, think about it. This guy has no political background and can be literally be the candidate and could pretty much take it.
Right.
And if he hadn't said some things early on and recently, he'd have took it. He would have taken it.
Right.
So now anybody can be run for president right now. And I think that's the beauty of America and the beauty of entrepreneurship. It really aren't any rules. We make our own as we go along. But do you have the balls,
right,
the chest hair, the fortitude to get up every single day, make your own rules, make your own blueprint, exist in that space, not knowing what's going to happen, just knowing that this is a God-given gift and ability. I know that's the God in me that's telling me to do this.
Right.
That's a gift.
You know what's, well, I wouldn't say crazy. I wouldn't even say funny. What's refreshing about looking at this brother and listening to him is I feel like my brother Kelvin, who we're on the line with
right now,
is in the studio.
Oh, yeah, we're all here.
It's the same spirit.
Same spirit.
Same spirit.
Yeah. Same. And then it's important that we're around individuals like Kelvin, like yourself, like when Dinesh and I met. He didn't know me from Adam, and so I was trying to get some work done in my store, and so I had the resources, and so he began to pull in his resources to help me get my stuff done. And they knew, and the folks that he pulled in got the vision and knew I didn't have the resources, so they helped.
Right.
So it's important that, furthermore, that we aren't intimidated by our peers.
That's right.
Because a lot of times we have peers, we have mentors. That's all another animal right there. The mentors who now is intimidated by the protege. So now you got this person that's supposed to be helping you and being your undergirding you is now intimidating you because you got the heart and the balls to really do something.
Right.
And all we Kel's experience that folks you around who say they really with you, but don't really get it. So they begin to kind of work counteractive against what you're doing.
That's right.
Well, they're a worker. See, there's a conversation for the worker and there's a conversation for the boss. And there's two different conversations. And too many times we're trying to mix them. We can't have the same conversation, my dude.
That's right.
You're an employee. And that's great. But the conversations I'm having, because an employee has the conversation of I want. The employer, the visionary, the entrepreneur has the employer of the conversation of I am. It's that God conversation.
Right.
It's speaking into the bleakness and the darkness and making something materialize. And the worker's catching the conversation of he's able to eat because the employer has the conversation of God.
That's right.
And the employee has a conversation of a child, I want. So we got to provide for the I want.
I like that. I like that. Well, so we still got Kelvin on the line, or did we lose him?
No, he just hung up.
Okay. Well, hopefully he'll call back. But that's awesome. That's awesome. It's kingship that we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're so wrapped around inferiority, superiority, big, little. You know, when I understand what my role is in a process, it's a successful process. Like you said, everybody can't be a servant. Everybody can't be a king. To be a servant is not to be negative about what my role is.
Right.
It's to be that cog in the wheel to help it keep rolling.
Right.
So it has to be a cooperative, and everybody has to play their position as best as they can, any kind of way they can, if you're moving forward. And I like that. So if my brother calls back, great. If not, great. But he was in the process of telling his story about the things that he went through when he was doing his laundry service. About how they being those cleaners that kind of blackballed him, they would hold his clothes and raise the prices before they give it to him to get to the folks that he was servicing. And it got ugly for a while. But he did what? He got back up.
Yeah.
He got back up.
It's imperative.
I'm telling you, this is a wonderful conversation. We're on Be Exposed Radio on the Denasha Harrison
entrepreneurship
Radio
show for today.
That's it.
Early.
Entrepreneurship. Talking about policies and a couple other things. And this is about the truth. We want to make sure that we talk to everybody about how they can find a better way and do more things based on the knowledge that we give them. If somebody wanted to know how to go about figuring out how they're an entrepreneur, what should they do? Should they have a sit down? Should they have a quiet moment? Should they make a phone call, go to a seminar?
Yeah, you know,
tough one, right?
I think that inside of each of us, it's a feeling, it's a yearning for something. God puts it in everybody. He puts that gift, that ability, that vision. I think a lot of times we ignore it because we are going by what status quo or what people say the industry is going, where the industries are going, where the trends are going, or what a good job if you're in school, what the guidance counselor says. This is where it's going to be 10, 20 years from now. So you should be doing this. But I think at the core, we should be ignoring what outsiders are saying. Listen to that voice inside you and what it is saying. Because it's probably pretty loud. But we silence it and be muted for fear of not knowing what's going to happen with that voice. So we go, if grandma had a great job as being a nurse and she was to support her family, then that's the conversation of the household. You know, for a long time in the Black community was go get a good government job with good government benefits and get a good government guaranteed paycheck.
Right.
And for a long time, that government stuff worked. And so now it doesn't work anymore.
Right.
But we're still having that same conversation, telling our kids to go get a job. So now we're silencing our children and the voices in our young people's head from being who they are, be it you're a painter, be it you can chew bubble gum really well and you get the Guinness Book of World Records for chewing the most pieces of bubble gum in 1 hour. I don't know. You can juggle, whatever it may be. You're an astronaut, whatever it may be. We're silencing it because telling them that's not a real job.
Right.
We're just saying you can't be your real you.
Right.
So to me, it's I think it's first, that's a great question, an internal thing. And I think also too, it's also about who we're around. Sometimes we become who we're around. And the conversation of the friends and those that we love and care about around us, I think, can affect our decisions of entrepreneurship or career choices or whatever they may be. I think it's important who we surround ourselves with. That'll kind of, because who we around gives us our identity. So if you're a racist, somebody talking pro equal rights for everyone, that's not going to be the folks you want to be around because you're a racist. So it's not going to be the same conversation.
Right.
So you got to find folks that are talking pro equal rights and pro unification and pro community and pro we're all one. Right. Not somebody that's racist. So a lot of times we're around folks who are who are 9-to-5ers and we're entrepreneurs, and it's a conversation conflict because we aren't talking the same.
Right.
The language I'm talking, you aren't talking. And the language you're talking about your job and how your boss pisses you off, and I am the boss.
Right.
So I'm take that boss aside because he's an entrepreneur like me. So now it's a conflict in our friendship.
So now what?
I got to be around entrepreneurs.
That's right.
I got to be around folks that got the balls in the heart that I got. And so a lot of it is who we're around. And if we're submerged in an environment of 9-to-5ers or punch clockers or anything wrong with having a job, I'm not knocking the job at all.
Right.
I love the folks that work with me and work for me. I love them because I need them.
Right.
That allows me to be the greatness that I can be.
That's right. You have the vision and you've been provided the provision.
And see, no, what denies it is that in entrepreneurship, a lot of times we are so self that we forget about people. We forget about community. If I'd have been in my shell, you and I couldn't have connected.
That's right.
You would have been comfortable with bringing a friend of yours down to help me.
Right.
If I was just so self, but I could have been self.
Right.
And I'd have never, you and I would have never connected. I wouldn't be here. You actually made me money or helped me make money. So we have to kind of get out of our own head and get into conversation. Folks who can really help to push our conversation forward. A lot of times as artists and as entrepreneurs and as business people, we're really caught in our head and our thoughts, and that's not healthy.
Wow.
Living in our head, you create these stories that really don't even exist. It's kind of like, you know, you're dating a woman, or you're dating a man, or whatever your orientation is, and you're dating someone, and so now when they don't answer the phone, you got them having a couple of threesomes. They didn't had these scandalous love affairs. They didn't had like 3 kids, 4 lovers in 2 hours.
Right.
Because you got this story because they didn't answer the phone.
Right.
When really they was at their mama house and they dropped their phone, or their phone was upstairs.
Right.
Because their mama flooded, basement flooded, and he down there, you know, trying to get the water up for mama. He ain't think about no phone.
Right.
And then he fell asleep.
Right.
Because his phone died. He was at mama house.
Right.
With no woman around. It was just him and his mama.
Right.
But you got in your head because he didn't answer the phone. He didn't cheated. He didn't been on tours with Beyonce. They done had ran this scandalous love affairs with Nicki Minaj.
Right.
And the whole time, yo, we at his mama house pumping the basement out because it flooded.
Putting in work.
So these steady stories grow in our head because we allow them to grow in our head versus really having just a conversation. And now you called your girlfriend. Hey, girl, you know he ain't right because her boyfriend cheated.
Right.
Versus saying, you know what, girl, he really might be busy. Really came up. Just give us some time. But we get around people who identify and can co-sign and validate how we feel. We don't want folks to challenge us.
Right. We don't want to hear the truth, or we don't want to hear the alternative. Right.
We create these stories. So entrepreneurs got to be around folks that can help to push the envelope and push the story, because an employee is just an employee. They're a worker.
Okay.
They can't push that story forward.
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking from this. From the place of I got to sign a check and I got to provide the resources to keep paying you.
Mm-hmm.
They come to the space of I need to keep getting paid.
Right.
Have my check together, Negro.
Right.
Because I got bills.
Right. It's not for me to watch the bottom line. It's for you to watch the
Not
bottom
how
line.
can I help you grow the business.
Mm-hmm.
See, every visionary with somebody's in the space of helping them like grow the business. So like I look at on this wall, there's a signature by a young lady named Tracy Beal. She's on here somewhere. I just saw her name a second ago. And Tracy's been helping me with my art shows and with my business. Tracy's not trying to be the boss.
Right.
Tracy's always thinking of ways, and she's an artist.
Right.
Of how to further the goal and make Stephen vision a reality. See, she gets the entrepreneur in me.
That's right. Anytime I would come by your shop to say hello, what's the other thing that would come out of my mouth?
How can I? You need anything?
Do you need anything?
You always say that. How can you need some? You need some money? We buy you lunch?
Right.
Literally.
Right. And I don't want anything from Mr. Wise in that respect. Right. This is a brother doing wonderful things, and I'm available. I got time. How can I help?
Right.
I think when we come from a genuine space, we start to make the community better than it is. Not that everything is bad in the community. We got some beautiful people doing beautiful things in beautiful communities all over the world. But how can we do more?
Well, you know what? I think you said something really key. And I said it when you asked earlier when I first got here, was there anything I wanted to talk about? And I said, no. Let's just leave the space open.
That's right.
And so when you come to my store, whenever you would come by, you always come with an open space, whatever you need me to do. And too many times we have too much of an agenda.
Right.
To entrepreneurs, you got to be free. You got to be able to exist in this space of not knowing and live in a space of possibility. So when you come down Packer Street, you may know, okay, Stephanie need me to help him move something. He might not have any money. I got to buy him lunch, whatever it is. I come with an open space.
That's right.
I come living in a space of possibility. And I think at the core, that's what an entrepreneur is. Coming from the space of possibility, of what can I create? What new world can I create?
Right.
A worker comes from a space of what can I get from that space? Or what can that space yield me? They're the recipient of the creation.
Right.
When God created, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep.
All right.
Beginning of Genesis. To keep the church spirit, to show spiritual today. Mama's a pastor, brother's pastoring now. Okay, so let's stay spiritual for a second. So God created from a space of formlessness and voidness. God came alive in that. Oh, this is fun now.
Right.
I get to have some fun because I get to create from the space of nothing.
Right.
Which is what entrepreneurship is. You're God.
Wow.
So until you're comfortable. So first of all,
well, I'll tell you what. Hold that thought. We will be right back on Be Exposed Radio. Man, this is awesome.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
The Fashion Umbrella Foundation is proud to announce the Educational Honors. The Foundation is a grassroots organization that champions inner-city youth by providing educational opportunities and resources to engage youth in the arts and STEM. The Educational Honors is a youth-based program that recognizes students in grades 7 through 12 who have at least a 2.5 GPA and perfect attendance for one school year. Those selected will be invited and recognized at the Educational Honors Awards reception on Saturday, October 15th, 2016. City Council President Bernard C. Jackson Mike Young will be the keynote speaker for the evening. Students will also be inducted as Fashion Umbrella Foundation Scholars for the class of 2016. For more information about the Fashion Umbrella Foundation, visit www.fashionumbrella.org or email us at info@fashionumbrella.org.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. So how important is it for you to have an organization like that and having a child of your own? How does that influence your ability to do the Impact organization?
It influences a lot. It's a little bit challenging because a lot of times people will say, oh, like, you have to practice what you preach, right? So if I'm telling my daughter and I'm raising her under the impact principles and I'm telling other mothers to do this, I have to do the same thing with my child, which is kind of testy a little bit, but I see a lot of development with her. Her leadership, she's only 4. And when I say she has some awesome leadership qualifications, I mean awesome. It's little things that we can observe with our kids, right?
Right.
For instance, when we take them to the park, she brings out a toy and other people wants to play with them. She's only child, by the way. She's not going to say, no, you can't play. Only play with this person. She takes the leader in the upper road and be like, okay, well, let's all take turns. So everybody get in the line. Okay, now you go first. Okay, now you go first. And she makes herself last. And that's what I want to see in, that's what I would like to see in all kids. And she's only 4. And when I see those leadership qualifications, of course I have to praise her because I'm like, awesome, London, you're being a really good leader. So, it's amazing and it works. I mean, it really works, my child. And I'm not saying she's a perfect child because there's no such thing as a perfect child. But when you instill impact principles into your child and, especially at a young age, and influence their everyday life. Even her teachers are telling me, like, I can see the work that you're doing with her for a single mom. Thank you. Like, they're just thanking me. And that's a blessing as well.
And I think really what it is that our youth just needs that kind of guidance. That's it. Once they have an example, someone that they can follow or someone that they see doing something great or maybe doing something similar, that right there is a catalyst for their success.
Yep, absolutely. And, it also goes with the mom as well. The mom and the dad.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Football, you basically have a good 10 to 12 years, and that's what it is.
Well, you have a lot of people retiring early. It's funny. A lot of me and my alumni from UVA, where I graduated from, one of our fellow Wahoos, he retired yesterday, 32 years old. To Bergershaw Ferguson, and he's been in the league like 10 or 12 years. So like you said, a lot of guys are making that change on their own now because they're seeing a lot of things from the the concussion movement,
right?
Stuff that's been happening. Is not the noun, is the effects later, because you see different stories of men are in like their 50s and some are committing suicide because of the banging and the voices or the concussions. And
did you see that?
I haven't got a chance to see it. But
not the movie, but did you see those effects?
I have seen concussions in college where guys have played that whole entire game and didn't realize they was at a football game.
Wow.
But like before the big emphasis came about whole concussions and what's going on, we was taught you just run to the wall. You can't be soft. You shake it off and get back in it. So
the wrong attitude to have.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really internal. Like you really doing damage, not just to your bones,
right,
but to your mind.
Everything. Right. And later on down the line, because just like you said, once the game is over, when you've been in a game and you think about it, because I tell people the NFL, any sports, whether it's male or female, is a semi-military because you're told when to get up, when to work out, what to eat, when to play. All right, now you got a curfew, you got to be in the bed by this time. And you do it for years and years, and all of a sudden, bam, it's done. So what do you do?
Right.
So just like in a military to have with PTSD. We have that because we so used to having a certain way. And I remember watching this Brian Gumbel on HBO, was like years ago, and a guy would act like he was getting dressed, a real good football player, would walk his daughter to the bus stop, and he would come back in the house, close the curtains, and just sit there because he didn't know how else to
What
handle
else to
stuff
do?
because he was so used to being told what to do because our schedule are laid out. By this time, you gotta do this. By this time, you gotta do this.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book whisperer. How do I choose a book?
Hey, welcome back to the National Answer Radio Show. I'd like to shout out a couple of people. Ernest, Anisha, is it Kiyoki?
That's Robbie. Robbie that was just.
Oh, is that Robbie? And E Digger? Yeah. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in to the show. I'm so happy to be a part of the Be Exposed radio family. So anything that I can do to assist and help you all out, please let me know. And likewise, I'm always open to good truth, good things, comments, questions, suggestions. We're sitting here with my man, Mr. Wise, and we might have Kelvin Harrison calling all the way from Oxnard, California, back on the phone. Kelvin, you with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, stay with us. Stay with us as long as you can. First of all, I really appreciate you taking this time because I understand about time. So we're not going to get into my crazy work schedule. But for you, Stephen, or Steph,
it's all good. Long as you don't call me Stephanie, we are.
Hey, Kelvin, hey, I really appreciate your time because I know that time is very precious for you brothers. Man, I hate the fact that we went into a break right when you were where you were.
Right.
But wonderful, wonderful conversation.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs and God was the last thing we talked about. Pastor, we was on Genesis before we went to the break. And Mr. Wise was in the middle of a thought.
Yeah. We were talking about darkness being on the face of the deep. And God spoke into the darkness and said, let there be light. It's interesting how we want to speak from the space of the light and then wanted to be light because that's
right.
Comfortable.
Wow. That's right.
So God didn't come from the light to the light.
To the light. He
came from the dark.
Right.
But then catch how what comes out of the dark. The light comes from the dark. So first you got to be cool with the dark because inside of that darkness is the light.
That's the birth.
So you got to, the baby's incubated in the dark. This is incubated in the dark. You were conceived in the dark.
That's right.
Usually when you're having intercourse with someone that's in the dark.
Well, yeah, depending on what you into.
Yeah. That's a whole nother show. Whips and chains, whatever you might like, But for the most part, everything happens in darkness.
Right.
And so we want to be comfortable. That's what separates the entrepreneurs from that 9-to-5er.
Wow.
No shades to 9-to-5er at all.
Absolutely not.
I love them. We need them.
They're interchangeable too.
And we all need one. Like the body needs the pinky, the small toe, the big toe, the ear. All these small intricacies make up the body.
That's right.
Which is the overall vision. So we got to be comfortable in the not knowing. And I think that should be a course taught at the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center. Forget the business plan.
Right.
If you can't get up and face that beast and smile and not know what that customer's going to do and wait on that person and show up. And I mean, I got a store. I got to go in a day and believe that it's going to be a great day.
That's right.
And just exist in that space, not act in it, but be in it. Be in it. Acting is a lie. Being in it. God exists in a space of being.
I like that.
He exists in a space of I am. He didn't say, tell him, I think you're going to be something sent you. He said, tell him I am sent you.
That's right.
So now we got to be in that space of where God comes from. He said, let there be light.
Wow. Kelvin, you still with us? You still with us?
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us.
What you want me to elaborate on? Like the darkness Right?
No, you know what? You know, it's.
We're gonna go back to the boxing. What we want to do?
Hey, as I said, it's like you're sitting right across from me because it's
That's
part of
right.
the same spirit. And for those who
That's
are
right.
listening, you know, at the end of the day, it's about Truth Radio and it's about the community, whether
That's
it's
right.
entrepreneurship. Brother Jerry called in talking about the legislation as far as the Justice Reinvestment Act. We're talking about, you know, the things that you got going on out in California. I can't wait to talk to some people that I know local that have their businesses going on. This is your platform. This is your platform. We didn't even talk about Freddie Gray yet. We didn't even talk about Brother O'Neill in Chicago yet, or our cousin who just got killed in the park on the south side of Chicago due to gang violence. Mr. Fairley, shot and killed, and a 15-year-old who he was mentoring is recovering right now. We didn't even touch on that yet. So much to touch on. Everything relates to a better community.
Yes.
Everything relates to the truth. And I am looking forward to future shows, looking forward to, you know, this wonderful director of the station here, / engineer / radio host, Artist Exchange show, Nate. Thank you for the opportunity, and we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it growing. We're gonna keep it going. And speaking of Chicago, there's a brother. I'll get with him, but he has his own wine business going on. He's from the South Side of Chicago. We're in the motorcycle community together, and I'm also going to talk about that motorcycle community a little bit more. So much to talk about. But wonderful brother. We call him Lim, Mr. Lemuel Howard. I'm hoping to get him to either come in on the show or talk about what he does as far as him being an aficionado, him dabbling a little bit into cigars every now and then, but basically doing the wine thing and other things that he's involved in. Miss Katrina Till Upshaw. She's working with Mumford Point Marines, doing wonderful things. So we're gonna bring it all home. This is your platform. This is where we learn, where we hear, where we grow, and where we fall but get back up. So before I let you go, Kelvin, real quick, if you can tell us how we can reach you, and then we'll be in touch with you again. But how can we help? Talk to us.
You can reach me at Team Let's Get It Boxing Club at gmail.com. Team Let's Get It Boxing Club at gmail.com. My number out here is 805-236-9950. 805-236-9950. Or you can hit me on Facebook at Calvin Harrison, Kalven Harrison, Harrison on Facebook.
Okay. All right, brother. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. And for everybody else, we'll be right back.
You're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to get yourself noticed? Well then, why not sponsor us? There are lots of different options to choose from commercial spots and on-air shoutouts to interviews and even putting your logo on our website. Don't miss these great opportunities to get noticed. Check out our sponsorship packages on our Facebook page or on our website, BeExposedRadio.com.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey guys, check it out.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
You're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome to the Saturday broadcast of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. And of course, for those of you who keep up with the times, you know that today is the open house. It is our second open house of the year. We will continue to do this throughout the year. Every first Saturday, every second Saturday, because this is the second Saturday. I knew that. I'm paying attention to life. So this is your co-host, Big Mama Ama.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Join the club that gives you stuff.
Hey, thanks!
Radio Loyalty. Here's how it works. Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right? Radio Loyalty. Click that banner to join now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
The Fashion Umbrella Foundation is proud to announce the Educational Honors. The foundation is a grassroots organization.
That's the thing about relationships, being qualified.
That's right. That's the thing about relationships and being qualified. Welcome
Yeah,
back
to
the
right into the conversation.
Radio
Yeah.
Show.
Anybody to say
Here on
right
Be
in.
Exposed Radio, man, I'm telling you, we talking about inner circles, y'all. We talking about how everybody's not qualified to be a part of your network.
Yeah, no.
We have to be
They could damage it.
careful who we
Allowing our space.
bring into our space, bring into our bosom, so to speak. And some people think they qualify when they come and they step to you, and when they're asking what they can do and they think they can take it on, you have to be very, very sure before you take that step to make that commitment, because that's just what it is.
You know, kind of think about, you're trying to get to a position or hiring a store. You don't talk to the store owner right away usually.
That's right.
It's a chain of command. It's the HR person. It's the manager of the department. It's like, I remember when I was trying to get a job years ago. I wanted to get a job, and that's my MO. What I did it, and I went to Nordstrom's, and I had to go through several people before I got to the manager. It was like a basic person that's probably working in the human resources department, and then there was the next person that was like a department head, and then there was the next person that was kind of the whole decision maker. But they qualified me.
That's right.
Had to be qualified. And we want to bring folks into our lives that aren't qualified. They didn't prove themselves yet. That's a mistake we make. You bring folks into our space they have not been proven to be qualified. And then we don't like the end result of what they yield because we didn't qualify them first. We didn't take them through the ropes.
Right.
You gotta be qualified for this.
That's right.
So you can't be a boss and bring everybody into the space, because that might damage the whole business. Now we're upset and saying it's a Baltimore thing, it's a Chicago thing, it's a Detroit thing, it's a LA thing. No, Negro, you didn't qualify them.
That's right.
You have to earn. It's like you don't meet to make it on some gritty street. You don't meet Pablo Escobar your first week selling drugs. You start off selling nickels. Then you get to the dimes, then you get to some, and it's a level to this. You don't get to Barack Obama. Jay-Z had to be qualified to get to Barack. Everybody didn't get to Barack. They didn't say his name in a song, but who can call Barack?
That's right.
He was qualified. I'm a certified leader.
That's right.
And look at it. What other hip hop couple could have been at the inauguration and they got just as much buzz as Barack and Michelle did.
Right.
But they were qualified for that. They were groomed for that.
Right.
They are the parents of hip hop.
That's right.
But they were qualified. Everybody can't handle that.
That's right.
Don't know what to say. Don't know how to act. When I say on music tip, with a person, these big watch companies, and we talk about this. What other hip hop person Audemars calls Jay-Z. What other hip hop cat can they could put it a song, but who lives that life?
Who's living it?
Jay-Z he is it. He became it. I'm not acting this out. This is really who I am.
Mm-hmm.
He was qualified.
Right.
But we think because we're popular or because we're gifted, we're qualified. It's a process to this.
You got to go through something. Get tried by the fire. Get back up. Let's talk about that in relations to the community. Like I said before, everything comes back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Not that everything is in such disarray in all of our communities across the world, but we can do better.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people want to know, how do I do better? How do I redirect this frustration?
Okay.
How do I redirect this idea or get somebody to listen or try to make something happen? How do I do that? And by the way, folks, we went a little bit past 12 o'clock, so we'll be on the air for a little bit more. So, but how can I do that?
Okay. All right. So I'm going to say this and I have to run. But I'll say this, and I'm glad you asked that question because I made that statement. Let's stop walking and marching and protesting.
Okay.
Let's just start doing something. I'm not walking and marching and protesting anywhere.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
We have to know when the seasons have shifted.
Mm-hmm.
And the season for marching and walking and protesting was 50 years ago, whenever that happened. The march happened with 1960
something.
Yeah. Okay. So forgive me for not knowing the exact date and time, but we need to move into a space of I show up and support.
Mm-hmm.
Like you come to the store, Stephan, do you need something?
Mm-hmm.
You know what you do? We got to start getting to action.
Right.
And walking is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing required. There's no resources required.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money required.
Right.
It's just free.
Right.
We can't keep living free.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been living free with no cause. Because after we leave the march, we go to McDonald's or go to a restaurant and go eat.
Right.
And the moment is over.
That's right.
Or imagine if every single MLK Day in America, all across America, we didn't march up and down the street. We raised money and opened a new business that day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 20 some odd years of marches, of parades we've had in America.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that business could have been opened in that one parade if everybody gave $1.
That's right.
$1. Imagine $1. I'm not saying give thousands.
Right.
If the thousands of folks that show up to march, to watch bands march and play instruments and folks come out of rally, if everyone gave $1, we can open up new business or several businesses in that city every single MLK Day, which is what he would have rathered.
Or support existing businesses
Or
like
that,
your rent parties.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, I had a friend of mine say, Stephan, imagine if we supported one business, all got behind one business every day.
Mm-hmm.
So today's going to be the black-owned franchise McDonald's, but a black-owned carryout. Or all the girls are going to buy weave. We buying weave from that one black owner that sells hair.
Right.
She'll be a millionaire one day.
Right.
And tomorrow we're all going to go to so-and-so art gallery that's black-owned and buy art from them.
Mm-hmm.
He's a millionaire one day.
Mm-hmm.
The person that sell, folks in Baltimore love crabs. Jamal Bryant said this. Did an interview with him. And Jamal Bryant said, Stephan, imagine if we all brought crabs from one black-owned business in Baltimore in one day. Wow. What would that look like?
Wow.
What would that look like? So now we got to look at what can the impact of what we can do now, not all this marching and protesting. Listen, the revolution will be televised. It will be. That's a lie.
It will be.
I mean, how can you say it won't be televised? When that phrase was said decades ago, there was no social media. There was no YouTube. So right now, everything is televised.
That's right.
So what are we going to televise?
And what are we prepared to do now that it is? Now that we have...
Let's put some action.
Everything
all this talking is overrated.
What are we prepared to do?
Let's go put some money up. Let's go say, okay, if I'm gonna eat fried chicken, which I love it, but it's not good for us. But if we're gonna eat it, like, okay, when I want fried chicken, I go to Connie's Chicken and Waffles in Lexington Market, it's a black owned. Places are chicken and waffles, and it's good. Oh my God! See, now I gotta go there today. So, but if I'm gonna eat the fried chicken, I'm at least go to somebody who looks like me.
That's right.
And I'm telling everybody I know where I'm going. But if we all did that, imagine what that would look like. Imagine the impact that would have. Imagine how many folks we could hire to look like us. Imagine what that looks like.
And we should not get it twisted that just because we're supporting businesses that look like us, that it's not for people besides us.
No.
That's not how the world works.
Yeah.
Right? So don't demonize those who want to support their own to change the way the community functions, operates, looks like, to change the world.
Because I go to a fabric store that's not African American owned because there's no one else.
That's right.
Now, the flip side to that is that they aren't racial.
Right.
So I can learn from them. And let's not become so black that we become anti everybody else. And we kind of get into so pro-black, we forget about, listen, we still need other folks too.
That's right.
Because they got resources and connections that we don't have.
Absolutely.
Point blank, period.
Absolutely.
So I love my Jews. I love my foreigners. I love my Israelis. I love my Spanish folks. Man, listen, the guy that works for me is Dominican. He's a black person technically, but we're fair-skinned black person. But I mean, it gives us another show. But these people give us our identity and give us a full range of spectrum of races. I want to hire all races.
That's right.
I don't just want black tailors.
Right.
My first tailor was Afghani.
Because that's not your neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's not what the world looks
and
like.
I can learn the world from different people.
That's right.
So black folks, listen, I'm going to say this and go, don't get so caught up in being black that you forget about everybody else in the world.
I like that. Say it one more time.
Don't get so caught up being pro-black that you're anti everybody else.
That's right.
We need the entire world. Because secondly, everybody is black.
That's the truth.
They all came from us.
That's right.
But they all aren't against us. So let's not forget about what those people mean to us as a community, because they give us who we are.
Wow. Wonderful.
They give us who we are.
They give us who we are.
Thank you for having me here. It was an honor to be here. I'm proud of you. I salute you. I celebrate you, black man, for taking a risk on yourself. It is actually a guarantee.
That's right.
Risking ourselves are guarantees.
That's right.
So I salute you. You got my back. I got yours. I'm here for you.
Always, brother. And I appreciate the opportunity that you gave me when I came to Baltimore.
I was supposed to do that.
So that's what we are supposed to do. That's our obligation.
And we got to get into space that we're supposed to do that.
That's right.
When someone says, thank you, you're welcome, but I'm supposed to do that.
That's right.
If I don't, I'm wrong.
That's right.
If I don't support and undergird and whatever it is I got to be to that person, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. And we got to get to the point that it's a commitment. Money comes from commitment.
That's right.
So until we get committed to something, nothing can show up. You ain't got to make time for anything. It's like having a child. You didn't make time for your daughter. When you decided to have a child with that woman, the commitment was made. The time was already built in.
That's right.
You don't make time for your child.
Right.
I've never seen you make time for your daughter. She's a part of your it's part of your life.
That's right.
So the commitment to each other is or the resources or the funding or whatever is needed is made. Like when I met you, you were committed to me. So everything you had began to be availed to me because you were committed to my cause. At the moment that we met.
That's right.
I'm gone.
All right, brother.
I salute you, boss.
All right, that's Stephen Wise.
Made me feel good.
I appreciate you. Did you want to shout out your address? Your
216 North Packer Street, Stephen Wise, Baltimore. I'm located right across the street from next to the market. I'm 5 doors down from Saratoga. If you cross Saratoga coming northbound from like Fayette Street area, you've gone too far. So I'm 5 doors Saratoga, 443-629-2005, or as Batman would do, put a beacon in the sky and look up, I'll be there.
All right, brother. Hey, thank you much. All right.
Thanks, Nate.
All right. So that is Stephen Wise from the Taylor Shop right there off of Packer Street. I really do appreciate the fact that he took the time to drop in for Ophelia Robinson and the Holy Trinity Gospel Ministries, Kelvin Harrison with the Let's Get It boxing team, and for all the shout outs from the Be Exposed Radio family. I really do appreciate the support. I'm looking forward to the support, more conversations with you. I'm learning, I'm growing, and the fact that this is my first broadcast, I really do appreciate how you all have welcomed me in. And of course, to Nate, the engineer, program manager, host for the Artist Exchange, Mr. Everything to this show. Thank you for the opportunity. I came in asking for a platform to talk about effecting change in a positive way, however that may look like, whatever that may be. And he gave me the opportunity. So tune in Thursday for the Denasha Harrison radio show from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Got something real nice for y'all. Hopefully we can continue this relationship. Thank you for tuning in. Tell your family, tell your friends, and we'll see you in a couple of days on the Denasha Harrison radio show.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to get yourself noticed? Well then, why not sponsor us? There are lots of different options to choose from commercial spots and on-air shoutouts to interviews and even putting your logo on our website. Don't miss these great opportunities to get noticed. Check out our sponsorship packages on our Facebook page or on our website, beexposedradio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange radio show on beexposeradio.com.
How did you know that this is what you wanted to do as far as being a singer or entertainer?
It's always